Mice and rats are of special concern when they have access to the structure of a home. Outside of the anxiety they create with some individuals, they pose serious health threats along with fire safety concerns. It is necessary that we spend enough time and energy to reduce access to the home as well as remove as many of them from the premises as we can. In some cases where conditions are the most difficult, it may not be possible to eliminate them. Consider high pressure areas in an urban environment, apartment complexes, restaurants, and commercial accounts. Those are particularly vulnerable. Always remember what animal you are working against. Rats and mice live differently, and care must be given when considering a treatment plan according to each. Before beginning any treatment plan, it is important to completely inspect the areas of suspected activity and understand the habits of the animal you are working to mitigate. Rodent droppings are a sure sign for identifying areas where rodents have traveled. The use of a UV light will illuminate their urine trails. Other signs will include rub marks where rodents get into and out of tight spaces or chewed and gnaw marks on an opening they enlarged. In many cases, the problem can be resolved by modifying the environment. This may include, but not limited to, rodent exclusion where they may have gained access. Habitat modification may be the removal of debris or trash. This could also include the removal of wood piles near the structure that may be used for firewood. Simply moving them away from the house may have a profound effect on the rodents. Let's address mice and rats separately. Mice are very comfortable living in confined spaces. Their range of travel may be limited to less than 10 feet for their entire life if conditions are favorable. Mice are very comfortable living inside homes where they scavenge on foods that are left unprotected. Common foods could be pet foods, dry goods, some vegetables that are stored in closets or drawers. Mice need certain conditions to sustain life. Mainly those are food, climate, and shelter. Notice that we did not include water. Mice can generally extract enough water from their food supply to live. Warm environments are essential for their existence. This is why inside homes or buildings is where we find them most. Almost any food source is acceptable to them. They are curious animals and will eat pretty much anything. However, they are also instinctively smart. While their curiosity often gets the better of them, they can be cautious when something invades their space. Most frequently, baits are used in the control of mice. Commonly used baits are often manufactured in blocks or small pouches for soft baits. These baits are designed to affect the mice in different ways depending on the active ingredients. Most common are anticoagulants, which ultimately cause internal bleeding. Other baits may disrupt digestion. Only small amounts of baits need to be consumed in order to kill mice. Death usually occurs in 5 to 7 days after consumption. Placement of baits for mice is critical. Always place rodenticides in approved containers in locations near where activity is noted. Approved rodent bait stations help protect the customer and their pets from accidental poisoning. Placement should be made out of sight and away from little hands and pets. If after a few days there is no activity in the bait stations, then consider moving them. Obviously, you are not in the right location. Mouse traps are also available for use. Simple wooden snap traps are a proven method for quick treatment of many mice, but must be monitored daily and reset as needed. Other traps may include live traps that must be checked frequently. Lastly, sticky traps or glue boards can be used to capture mice. Remember, rodent infestations are rarely controlled with a single visit, so be prepared to follow up frequently. Rats are vastly different from mice. They are not curious creatures. In fact, they are typically hesitant to enter a new environment or an area that they are comfortable with if something has changed about that environment. This could be as simple as a placement of a rodent control station. They may avoid the area for many days until they gain new confidence that they are not in danger. While rats may infest a home, they are likely to enter and leave frequently depending on the comfort they have in that environment. Rats are scavengers that may travel long distances to find food. They will travel along common trails daily as they forage. Rodent bait stations work really well in outdoor environments, but must be placed in foraging areas with sufficient cover, otherwise they are useless. Remember that rats seek out hiding spots wherever possible. Snap traps can be installed in many outdoor rodent bait stations and are extremely effective against small numbers of rats. However, baits will provide for control of more than one rat at a time and seems to be a preferred method of control since they do not require frequent inspection. Rats have a keen sense of smell and will avoid anything that smells like a human. Handle bait and bait stations only with gloves. It is important that customers know what to expect. Educate them on the pressures that may be present. This could include an urban environment that makes conditions conducive. It may be as simple as weather related issues such as the onset of cold weather. Advising the customer that these treatments take time sets the expectation where it should be without unduly sending technicians back too often for reservices that may not be necessary. It takes a bit of patience to control rodents properly.